am so excited today. We've heard feedback from all of our listeners that the favorite episodes are always the ones where we have actual brides and grooms on. And today we have one of my sweet brides, one of my favorite brides, Kelsey. She is here with us fresh off of her bachelor party in Vegas.
Ooh, that sounds like fun.
Kelsey's getting married in November, and we are just going to check in with her and see what she's experiencing right now and how she's feeling. And I do want to hear a little bit about this bachelor party because I've seen some of the pictures and I do want to know the stories behind the pictures. So super excited for this and to just get going on everything a bride is feeling. And we're about 3 months out from your wedding. So go ahead and introduce yourself to everybody.
I'm Kelsey. I'm Sharon's bride. And I'm getting married on November 13th at the Brown Hotel in downtown Louisville.
Sharon, I'm a little disappointed we didn't see these pictures. Mike, I mean, what about you?
Share some of those.
Only with permission.
I have like 500. If you want to see them.
500. Okay, so Sharon, where are we starting?
Let's start at the beginning. Let's talk about your engagement. Let's talk about any planning you did before your engagement.
So John and I have been engaged for about 14 months now. We got engaged last June in Florida. And then prior to that, we had been dating for 5.5 years. So we met in college, sophomore year, and then started dating then and been together ever since. And then I already had most of it planned to begin with. I knew the venue I wanted. So I had Sharon set appointments up at 3 locations. The Brown was the first one we went to, and then I had her cancel the other appointments after that.
I stood in front of the Brown Hotel and called the other venues we were supposed to see that day and canceled our appointments.
I'm going to start asking questions immediately. Did you know Sharon ahead of time?
I did. I met her at my previous job at the Hilton Garden in downtown.
Okay.
I was a sales manager there. I did wedding blocks, and Sharon brought her brides to me for the Henry Clay brides.
Kelsey's being really, really sweet. What she's not saying is that part of my job is to secure wedding blocks for my clients. And I didn't know how to do it. I didn't know all the ins and outs of this contract versus that contract. So Kelsey taught me how to book a wedding block. And I am forever in her debt for that. And that's how we met. She taught me how to book a wedding block.
So did you know out of the gate you wanted a wedding planner?
Yes. I am type A. I mean, I could probably have done it by myself, but I just wanted someone there who I trusted to tell me what needed to be done and who to use, mostly for vendors. That was my biggest thing. I just didn't want to spend hours researching vendors, trying to figure out who is, worth it and who's not. So that's mostly why I wanted Sharon, but also I knew I wanted her to be my wedding planner before I was engaged. So.
Well, we have a lot of times people ask us, wedding planner, not wedding, it's in their mind. So that's why I was curious your thoughts on that. And so that's why I'm glad to hear.
Yeah, I have a lot of friends who are engaged right now, and I tell them, every single one of them, that they should hire a wedding planner, like no matter who it is, just so they have someone who's like there with them through everything. I mean, even if you do a partial one, there's still someone there that you can reach out to.
To kind of be a guide for you.
Well, and you don't have to worry about everything. I mean, you can rely on Sharon to take the ropes and run with it.
Absolutely.
I mean, she's going to do what you want, but I mean, at least you're not going to have to worry about
Well,
it.
Kelsey didn't need, some people need a lot of help with design and, decor and that kind of thing. Kelsey didn't need any help with that. She knew exactly what she wanted. She knew the look that she wanted. She knew what was important to her, what the most important aspects of her day were. But what I think is beneficial, even to brides like Kelsey, that Kelsey's got an event background. She knows a lot about events and weddings. But I think just being able to execute that design and bring it all to fruition. And then the main thing is that she gets to have some joy in the wedding planning process and not have to worry about all the little details. And then she gets to be a guest at her own event on wedding day.
I think there's the piece I was maybe looking for. I think sometimes people are a little bit hesitant on pulling the trigger with a wedding planner or wedding coordinator because they think they lose control. And really what Sharon just said it was about bringing it all together. And that's what I heard from a little bit from you too.
I come alongside them, I don't stand in front of them.
Yeah, all my friends and John think I'm a control freak. So. And it more so Sharon, I want her there on day of the wedding so I can enjoy just like getting ready with my mom and like my friends and bridesmaids, and I don't have to worry about anything else outside of that room. And Sharon, I know she'll take care of it.
I always tell my brides, that's a main thing for the planner that day, is because you want to spend time with your mom, your bridesmaids, you want to have a good time. You don't need to be running around at the reception making sure I'm doing my job or not doing my job. So
Or that you showed up.
exactly,
Not you,
yeah,
But
exactly
any
though.
vendor, that
Any
wasn't
vendor.
directed towards you, you know that.
That's okay.
Okay, so Sharon, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to try to derail, but just trying to dig into details here. So where were we?
Well, I want to go back for a minute. Let's start at
around.
the beginning. Tell us about your engagement. How it went. How it happened.
Yes.
So it was, prime COVID time. I was unemployed during it, so we went to Florida. And this was right when things started opening back up after kind of that 2-month lull and things. And my best friend was there, and that's who John kind of coordinated it all with. And we went to Longboat Key. And I kind of knew that it was going to happen because when Shanco reopened, I sent John the new hours. So,
They were closed, I guess, because of COVID.
yes, but prior to that, in February,
He could only use that as an excuse for so long.
right, they reopened, there was no more excuses. And prior to, in February, at our 5-year anniversary, he took me to look at rings. So it wasn't just like out of the blue that I sent it, but so we did that, and then everything kind of lulled for a little bit, and then we were going on vacation, and so we got down there, and we got ready for the first night out, and I could tell John was like a little nervous, and he was like all red in the face, and
So cute.
and it was monsooning all day. There was like a tropical depression, and we got to it was called St. Armand's Circle in Longboat Key, and I'd been there when I was younger with my family, and we walked into the middle. It's like a big roundabout with all these shops and restaurants around. And we walked into the middle, and my friend Mandy was like, "Let me take your photo." And I just started crying because I knew it was going to happen. And John turned towards me and got on one knee. And then I really don't remember what he said. But then I made him repeat it. So.
That's awesome.
And the whole time, she posted on Instagram that she'd gotten engaged. Well, Kelsey had months prior to this pulled me aside and said, "I know I'm getting engaged soon, I know it's happening, and I know I want you to be my wedding planner." And we hugged and everything, that made it official. So I see these pictures coming out, and I'm like waiting for this phone call. "Hey, I'm ready, let's go, I'm hiring you." And she didn't call that night. And I remember going to bed.
Mike, did she say that night?
That night,
That night.
I did. I remember going to bed and telling my husband, I was like, "I think Kelsey changed her mind. I think she doesn't want me anymore." And
Like
Ron,
that was a priority at that same
and
day.
Ron was like, "Sharon, the girl's been engaged less than 24 hours."
I called her the next morning.
She did.
I mean, it took me a good 24 hours to contact the people I wanted to before I put anything on social media.
Yes.
So she was on social media pretty quick.
Yeah.
It's funny.
Wow, I'm glad you asked about that. I'm glad. Okay, so you secured the venue pretty quickly.
Mm-hmm.
So that's where we were at in the story, right?
So when I got my call the next morning, we set up a time to meet. She was still in Florida. I mean, bless her heart. I'm like, "Why haven't you called me?" She's like, "I'm not even in the same state as you." We set up a time to meet as soon as she got back. And she told me she kind of had her heart set on the ground, but we did want to check out other places. And that's where we started. And she knew pretty much the date she wanted. So we went there first, of course, and secured our venue. And then we just kind of started booking our vendors.
Yeah, immediately. I mean, we were still a year and a half out at that point, but she told me the first most important is hair and makeup, photo and video. Hair and makeup especially because they can't do multiple weddings on the same day. So I went through her vendor list and contacted them and got pricing. So that, saved me so much time because I just wanted to use who Sharon trusted. So I got those booked really quick. And then we kind of went to a little slow down time where I didn't have that much else to do. And then the year out came around, and then we did a walkthrough at the ground, and we took our engagement photos there. So that was like the next step. And then ordered save the dates. And then after that was December, and we met with Mike, and he's our florist for our wedding.
I'm excited too. I can't wait.
And we went ahead and booked DJ and floral. And honestly, that was
The
about,
chocolate fountain.
yes, she wanted the chocolate fountain. She's known Anne, the owner of the little chocolate fountain, since she was a little girl. So she knew she wanted that. And then she did have a lot of other vendors to book because with being at the Brown Hotel, so much of it is through the hotel. So it's actually been a really smooth process, and she's so on it with getting things done in a timely manner. And it was so funny to me. One of her really close friends was also my client, and they would compare notes on what they had done. And their weddings are what, 6 months apart? Yeah. And Kelsey always had more done because she's just Kelsey, and that's how she is. Yeah.
So tell us, what is the most, I don't want to say emotional, but most fun you've had? I mean, what have you been excited about the most besides the big day itself?
And not the bachelorette party, because that's a whole nother, we'll talk
Yeah,
about
that's
that
another topic.
Well, honestly, just everything coming together. I've told my friends I have a daily wedding cry where I just like tear up and cry a little bit every day.
Happy cry?
Yeah, happy
Okay.
cry. It's like good. I'm just excited about everything. And then since being engaged, we'll be engaged for 15 months or 17 months. So it's a pretty long engagement, and just to see everything like come together is what I'm most excited about. And then we did, the tastings were so fun. I really enjoyed those. We did the tasting at the Brown early in July, and we met our coordinator there, and he was great, and the food was phenomenal. And then we also met with Heitzman's, who's doing my Macaroon tower.
Oh, that's awesome. That's
Ooh,
different.
a
Yes.
macaroon tower.
Kelsey has a lot of different elements in her wedding that I'm super excited about. One being the macaroon tower. So we actually went and did a macaroon tasting, which I had never done before, and we're gonna blow guests out of the water with that because they're not gonna be expecting it.
And Mike's gonna put my flower arch around it and all the other extra florals that we have to make it pop.
I'm excited too.
And she's created, and I'm not gonna give away her secret because I think this will air before November, but we have a really cool photo opportunity that's happening. Just some different things that you don't see.
I can't wait to see pictures.
Yeah. She's not a cracker box wedding kind of girl at all, so we're doing a lot of really cool, fun stuff. What has been a struggle?
Kind of worrying about everything coming back with COVID, but just fingers crossed. I mean, there's nothing I can do about it, so you just kind of have to move on. If something happens, something happens. And then really, that's my only struguggle altogether.
I've had so much fun getting to know your mom because I figured out Kelsey's mom always says her name and she'll say, Kelsey, when she picks something out that she thinks is outrageous. But then she always says yes to it, and we do it anyway. But I have loved getting to meet her mom. Her mom's name is Kelly, so there's Kelly and Kelsey. And Kelly always says, Kelsey, every time that Kelsey chooses something she thinks is over the top. And when we were at Mike's appointment, I think she said it like 3 times. But
The flowers were a touchy subject, but
yeah,
it's for the best.
yeah.
It's for the best.
But it's going to be absolutely gorgeous. Yeah, and Kelly pretends that she's irritated about all of it, but she's not at all. She's actually really excited. Yeah, we've taken her to every meeting we've ever done.
Well, I know that's stressful for you for the COVID thing. You know what? Put it aside.
That's really it. Everything
It's going to happen. I mean, it's going to happen. We're going to keep our fingers crossed. Don't even worry about that. There's so many more things to worry about besides that. So.
Okay, talk to me about the floral appointment, because she said that she had the floral appointment, and I know it was a touchy subject, but can we talk about the planning of it?
Sure.
Or what she brought to you, or how that
Kelsey
went?
actually brought me almost pictures and everything that what she
No
liked.
Pinterest board?
Oh, she had her Pinterest board.
It was an Out Planner.
It was an Out Planner, right.
Okay,
And the Pinterest board.
And a Pinterest board. And that's what I like about brides now. I mean, they bring it to me. I mean, years ago, I used to sit down with pictures and pictures. I just sit down, okay, Kelsey, tell me what your vision is. And then that's what my job is, to make the vision come true. And Kelsey already had her plan already out, so it was very easy
I'll
for
have to
me.
take a picture for you to share when this airs on the show notes of her aisle planner design board. Because there's probably over 100 pictures.
Probably.
Okay, definitely, we'll have to share that out.
Yeah, but I think we sit down together, and I always sit down at my first appointment and I ask, what aspect of the wedding is the most important to you? Not that everything's not important, but to some brides it may be floral, and to other brides it may be, the food or the music or whatever. And Kelsey, like her top 3 florals was there for sure.
Yeah, the ballroom that we're getting married in, you just need florals for that type of look. And that's why, and my mom, I prepped her. I was like, Mom, this is important. And she knows it was important. So.
I like how you said, Mom.
But it was more important to you though, correct?
Yes.
Yeah. But she actually did a great job of like visualizing what she wanted and then finding like some pictures. Anyone who's we have listeners all over everywhere, but the Brown Hotel is an extremely nice hotel. And Kelsey's getting married in a room called the Crystal Ballroom with huge chandeliers, and it needs epic florals in order to match this room.
Ooh, I'm getting a sneak peek over here. Mike, I mean, he's picking up on his computer skills. He's got it pulled.
Well,
Wow.
thanks to Sharon. Look
I
at
can't,
that.
I'm not even going to say anything
Look at
other
this.
than wow.
Look at this.
My goodness.
It's going to be beautiful, stunning. I'm excited for you.
I'm so excited. It's like my dream venue.
Sorry.
You were so taken back.
I got
You're just like,
relaxed.
okay.
She was so detailed when we went for our walkthrough. There is an exit sign, a red exit sign by one of the doors in her ceremony space. And we did not leave that room until she figured out how Mike was going to cover up that exit sign.
Or my photographer will Photoshop it.
Photoshop.
Whichever one
Yes.
comes first.
We actually turned her whole ceremony from straight on in the room to diagonal in the room
Yep.
to avoid the exit sign.
I don't want my guests to look at it either.
Yeah.
But it's that attention to detail that matters. I mean, that to you, and that's what's most important.
Well, and you
It's
know
your
what?
day
If
and
you-
your fiance's.
Yeah, he's
Oh.
there too.
If you didn't pay attention to those details, later on, when you're not even thinking about that exit sign will be right here in the middle of these photos. So it's very important that you
Yeah,
pay
you really,
attention
when you
to
walk
those
through a
details.
space, you've got to look at all of those ideas. And it was actually, hats off to the photographer, because it was actually her,
Kata.
Kata, that came up with turning the ceremony to the diagonal. I can't take credit for that. She mentioned it, and I was like, 100% yes, that's the answer. That's the way to go. So, and what advice do you give, say someone just got engaged this past weekend, what advice would you have for them now that you're almost there, you're in the finish line?
I would say, decisions are really important, and some people aren't as decisive as others. But you just need to write down what you want, get it all down, and then have get those vendors lined up, and just start there. And that will just make the whole experience so much easier. Is just starting earlier.
What about budget?
She smiles.
Budget is important as well. My mom is the one who is taking care of that for us, but you just have to figure out what's more important to you in the budget and where you want your money to go, and just cut things elsewhere that aren't as important to you. Like mine was invitations. Like those aren't the most important thing to me. Like I don't need foil inlays or all the extra stuff that they're just gonna go in the trash. But if that's important to you, then they're beautiful. But mine was florals, food, and the venue, and that's where the majority of my budget is.
Yeah, and maybe you do less on some other categories in order to get what you want as far as what's most important to you. And I think that's why it's so important to sit down, even as a couple. Although I think poor John, if Kelsey said, I want to get married on a barge in the middle of the Ohio River, John would just be like, okay, tell me how to get to, what boat do I get on to get out there?
He'd be like, what time do I need to be
Yeah,
there?
what time do I need to be there? Sharon, what do I wear? But I think that having that conversation and just identifying what's most important to you, because every wedding has a budget. It might, be $10,000, it might be $100,000, but every wedding has a budget. And just deciding where to direct that money. And I think Kelsey made really, really good decisions in it's gonna show that day what was most important to her.
Well, and, you know, we've had other guests on, you know, DJs or bands or whatever, and, you know, some people think the band should be more important. Some brides think the flowers, and that's where every bride is different. If every bride wasn't different, I wouldn't
Our jobs would be really boring.
our jobs would be boring, and I wouldn't be where I'm at today. So, I mean, I'm just glad to hear you say florals is one of your big things. And, you know, some people say they don't remember that. Well, if you don't have a budget for it, no, they're not going to remember it. But if you have a budget for it, if you make it to where they are going to remember it, it's going to be a standout point.
I get asked a lot by couples, you know, they don't know what's most important. Maybe they haven't been to a lot of weddings, or they haven't thought a lot about it. And I always say, you know, put your money where your photos are, because your photos, that's all you have at the end.
Yeah.
So hire a really good photographer, a really good videographer, and then, you know, if you're gonna bling out a table, bling out your cake table or your head table where the photos are gonna be. There's not gonna be that many photos of a guest table. So those are always just some suggestions I give. So I wanna transition now. I know you just got back from your bachelorette party, and I can't wait to hear all about it, because I know that you guys had an amazing time. It looked like every girl there was just having a blast in all the pictures. I want you to tell me all about it.
Okay, well, I started planning it over a year ago, obviously.
Why does that not shock me?
We went to Las Vegas for the weekend. That was my 9th time going to Vegas. So my mom and my grandma took me 7 times before I turned 21. So
Oh my gosh.
So I just wanted to go back for my bachelorette party and, you know, be over the age of 21 and take all my best friends with me. So we booked the hotel in December, and then we got airfare in March. So this has been on the books for a while. And then we had a bunch of things planned. We messaged promoters on Instagram and got their numbers to get us on the list into clubs, which I would highly recommend.
That
So you
is
don't
so
have to
smart.
stand in line. And if it's all girls,
Didn't even think of that.
if it's all girls, you will get moved to the front of the line. That's what they want in the club. So if you're a guy, sorry. But,
You have a really pretty group of friends too. I was looking at them, so I would have let them in if I was the promoter.
and then so one day, and then I made all the reservations. I know like your maid of honor and your bridesmaids are supposed to plan your bachelorette, but I am just a little psycho. So I had the itinerary, like the basics of the itinerary, like restaurant reservations, and then that was basically, and then the one thing I wanted to do more than anything was go to Lisa Vanderpump's cocktail garden. If y'all know who she is.
I totally
Yes.
yes.
She has this beautiful cocktail garden in the Caesars Hotel, and I wanted to go. John and I went 2 years ago, but the line was like insane. So we got in this time, and then if you wear a veil and a tiara, everyone thinks it's your birthday. So even though I was like, "Thank you, it's not my birthday," but and then so we got in, and that was one of the top things I wanted to do. And then for the last full day, we went to a pool party at the Encore Beach Club and saw the Chain Sneakers. And we got to go backstage because my friend Abby paid $200 in cash to get us backstage. So
Oh my gosh, that's amazing.
they'll tell you no, but if you pay them, they'll let you in.
That's
That's
awesome.
amazing. So you were there how long?
3 nights, 4 days. It was a lot.
Are you
Did you
exhausted?
sleep at all?
No.
I've heard anytime people go to Vegas, you don't sleep.
All of my friends, our last night was like our nicest dinner reservation. It was at Lavo, and only 6 of us made it, including my mom and my aunt. So 4 of my bridesmaids didn't make it because the pool party just got the best of them.
No way.
Yeah.
So at the pool party, is that the ones that have the cabanas and stuff like
Yeah,
that?
like the
Okay.
day beds, the cabanas,
Yes.
and then they just like pack it in with people.
Yes.
And just music and
Yeah, it was the Chainsmokers were headlining, so it's like one of their biggest shows for the week. They have a residency
Wow.
there.
Yes.
that's so cool. So you just went out every night and then slept in pool
And then woke up every morning.
Okay, so tell me about the clubs that you went to. Do you remember them?
Yes, I do.
Okay.
So the Resort World just opened. It's owned by Hilton. It's like the newest resort on the Strip. Crazy nice, like, and it's so huge. We went. It's called IU Nightclub. It's actually a day club, but we went at night, and it has like the pools outside too. And that was supposed to be Zed playing, And we were there probably for 4 hours, and Zed had still not come on. So he wasn't even gonna come until like 3 a.m. And we had to like wake up early and like go to brunch. So we did not see Zed. And then to prep anyone who goes to a day club or nightclub there, one drink is $75.
Oh my Lord.
So
Yes.
just bring some money.
I knew that it was expensive, but I didn't know.
$75?
Yeah, it's probably the size of, like a tumbler cup, and it is majority Grey Goose vodka, but it is still $75.
Yes.
All you have to do is drink one, then you'll buy more and more and more.
Yeah, you have
I
to
would
pay
be
to get in.
asleep.
You have to pay to get into them, right?
So we didn't, if you get on the list with their promoter, or if you're all girls on the list, you don't have to pay, but you can buy a general admission ticket and get in, and then all.
In line.
So you guys just like found all these clubs on Instagram?
Yes, and they all have promoters, and you just text them and get on their list.
That's a whole nother topic.
We're too
whole
old.
show.
That's a whole other episode. We're gonna have you back for that.
We're too old.
Okay, so tell me about Lisa's place. Let's hear some details
My
on
gosh,
this.
it's just like the most, if I was a cocktail garden, like I would be Lisa Vanderpump's cocktail
Is
garden.
it flowers upon
It was
flowers
just
upon
like-
flowers?
Like dark purple, black, like sparkle, aesthetic florals everywhere. And then it's like in the Caesars casino. So they have like a sky like ceiling. So it's just like the most, and then their cocktails, it was voted the most Instagrammable place on the Las Vegas Strip. So their cocktails are all, $20+, but they're just the most photogenic drink that you've ever seen in your life.
That's awesome.
Wow.
We're
Yes.
going to go to Vegas here.
We're too old,
Right.
Michael. We're too old.
But guess who we're taking with us?
I'll go
Definitely.
again. I'll go again.
You can be our tour
She
guide.
can be the tour guide, exactly.
I'll plan
She's
your
been there
wedding and you
9
plan my
times.
next birthday party in Vegas.
Perfect.
But those that are looking to do something and really make a celebration and a party out of it, I mean, that's exactly what you wanted to do.
Yeah, that's just how I am as a person. I can tell you that my bridesmaids will not pick Vegas for their bachelorette parties. That's just because
They're still trying to recover.
we're all still recovering. But that was definitely just like my type of personality and vibe that I was looking for.
So what is John gonna do for his bachelor party?
he's going to Las Vegas next week.
Oh my goodness. Well, y'all are a good pair.
Yeah, he's excited, but I came home and told him that the drinks are $75, and I hope his friends buy them for him. So, because he's a little cheap. He knows it. He knows
He's
it.
really sweet. So have you planned the whole thing for him?
No, I did help him get a room block though, because he's taking 22 guys with him.
Oh my
Wow.
goodness.
Kelsey.
But they're not
I
going to
sound like your mom.
like you did.
Oh look,
No.
they can pitch in. At $75 a drink, they can pitch in.
As guys in that many, they'll have to reserve like tables that have minimums.
Oh my goodness, I wouldn't even know where to start.
This is a whole Las Vegas episode.
Mm-mm-mm.
Wow. I'm glad that she shared this with us though, because if that's something you're thinking about doing, it sounds like you should definitely plan ahead.
Yes.
Yes.
Always have to have a plan.
Yes, Sharon.
It's free.
Like, we can't do anything without a plan.
So Kelsey, back to your wedding, even though I'm still thinking about this bachelorette party. What do the next 3 months look like for you?
It's really just the smaller things I have left. I made a whole list. I have to get like my welcome sign, like the guest book alternative. I have my final meetings with all my vendors coming up.
We have a meeting here in a couple weeks.
Yes, and then I'll have my final meeting with Mike in October. And then I also need to meet with him too for florals for the rehearsal dinner, which is another.
That's
Oh.
another little bit.
Yeah, and then I just have like the little trinkets, like ring boxes, breaking my shoes, and then
That's on your checklist.
it is on
I
my
want you to
checklist.
start wearing those shoes a month before.
All right, I will.
So we'll meet about 4 to 6 weeks out with your DJ, with your officiant, with your florist. We'll do another walkthrough at the venue. So a lot of things are going to get really busy about 4 to 6 weeks out. And then my goal is the last 2 weeks before your wedding, you do nothing except attend those appointments like your manicure and your pedicure and your haircut and those kind of things. So
Yes, I actually have my first bridal fitting next weekend, and
That's
then
exciting.
I have my wedding hair trial as well too.
that's exciting.
I hope you'll come back. So after the wedding, we can recap and see you know, how it all came together and
Talk
talk
about
about.
the honeymoon.
Well, and also I'd love to hear her take on, you know, seeing the pictures and what she had as a vision and then seeing it come to life. You know, just, I can't wait to talk about some of that stuff because, you know, it's one thing when you're picking out pictures on Pinterest and things like that, but as this stuff that Sharon's mentioned starts to happen and fittings and it's going to become real,
A reality.
Yeah,
real quick.
the bachelorette party kind of kicked it all off, so.
Here we go.
Yes. What do you say, Mike? What's your favorite saying? Buckle up.
Yeah, buckle up, Betty.
luck.
It's gonna be a bumpy ride.
Well, hopefully it's a smooth ride for
It's
her.
not gonna be bumpy, Michael.
Right. See,
Smooth
when
all
they
the
get to
way.
going, that's what Sharon does when he needs to get in line.
Michael.
When he's getting checked.
Check.
Yes.
Yeah.
And check.
But we're super excited for your wedding. I'm honored that you shared it with me. It's been such a fun journey and we're gonna rock it out.
We are.
Thank you
We
for.
can't wait to talk to you about the honeymoon afterwards.
Where are you all going?
Montego Bay, Jamaica.
Oh,
I have been there. It's amazing.
I'm so excited.
she'll have so much to tell us.
I think we need to get John on too, because he's a dog.
Yes.
Do you
bring
think he'll
John
come with you?
Yeah, he will.
Okay. All right.
Can I tell you something about John that he's now forever in my heart? So I did, like I was saying earlier, a really good friend of Kelsey's wedding. And he was a guest at the wedding. Kelsey was a bridesmaid. John was a guest. He wasn't in the wedding party. He came up to me, got there early, and came up to me and said, Sharon, I'm here. If there's anything you need me to do, use me any way you want. Is that not the most precious thing ever? I love him.
And I'm sure you put him to work too, didn't you?
I think I did a little.
Just a little.
Yeah.
Just a little.
Just a little.
You
All
tell
right.
Sharon that, she's gonna run with it.
All right. Well, awesome. Well, you'll have to bring him back with you.
I will.
So good luck with everything. I'm
Thank
sure
you.
it will go great. I can't wait to hear how much of it you actually remember versus the pictures and all of that stuff, because that's a lot of times what we hear from people is it went by so fast, you know, so I hope you're able to actually enjoy it
He's
because it sounds like you've put a whole lot into it.
She's put her heart into it.
Yes.
She really has.
Oh, we'll have to see
Just
pictures.
enjoy it.
We gotta see,
Breathe,
we gotta see
relax.
pictures and everything, Sharon, okay?
We will. We
Okay.
will.
All right, thanks so much. We really appreciate it. And until next time, everyone, stay safe out there. And if you have something to share with us, just visit our website. We would love to hear from you.